Have you ever been around someone who seems friendly on the surface, but deep down you sense that something just doesn't feel right? Have you ever felt a subtle discomfort, an instinct that there's something darker lurking behind their smile? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, introduced a powerful concept called the shadow. The shadow represents the hidden parts of ourselves that we deny, but inevitably reveal through our actions and interactions. When someone harbors feelings of hatred, envy, or resentment, they often try to conceal them, but never completely. The signs are always there, subtle, yet unmistakable. Today, I'm going to reveal 8 clear signs that someone close to you might be hiding hostile feelings, even if they go to great lengths to cover them up. Pay close attention because the 8th sign is the most dangerous of all, and it just might change how you view certain people around you. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the Think Deeply channel so you never miss out on upcoming videos about personal and spiritual growth. Now, let's get started. Sign number 1, contempt disguised as irony. Hidden hostility doesn't always show itself openly. Some people prefer to mask it behind sarcastic jokes, snarky remarks, or biting irony. They'll poke fun at things they know you're sensitive about, but if you call them out on it, they'll quickly respond with phrases like, "I was just joking," or "Don't be so sensitive." This type of behavior is particularly sneaky because it leaves you feeling uneasy while they maintain the appearance of being harmless and playful. In reality, repeated sarcasm about certain topics is a strong indicator of hidden contempt. If their jokes consistently leave you feeling humiliated or belittled, and especially if they keep targeting the same subjects over time, it's likely not just humor, but a sign of repressed hostility. Jung explained that our personal shadow is often projected onto others in subtle and sometimes even unconscious ways. When someone keeps using sarcasm to attack specific aspects of your personality, they're revealing parts of themselves that they can't accept. Sign number 2, hidden sabotage. When someone close to you feels threatened by your success or personal growth, they might try to sabotage you in ways that aren't always obvious. Sabotage isn't always direct. It can be subtle, manifesting as misleading advice, poor communication, or minor mistakes that add up to major setbacks. For example, a friend or family member who forgets to share important information, leaves out crucial details, or accidentally complicates things for you may not be as forgetful or clumsy as they seem. If these incidents keep happening, especially at critical moments, it's worth asking yourself if they're really just coincidences. Pay attention to the consistency of these behaviors. If a pattern emerges, it could indicate an unconscious desire to hold you back. Jung suggested that when people lack the courage to confront their own failures, they may project their frustrations onto others. By sabotaging you, they avoid feeling inferior or inadequate themselves. These are just the first 2 signs. There are 6 more that are just as revealing, and the last one is the most insidious of all. Make sure to stick around as we uncover each one. Sign number 3, silent competition. Have you ever shared a success story with someone only to have them immediately shift the conversation to themselves? Some people just can't celebrate your achievements without feeling the need to one-up you. Every time you share good news, they either try to outshine you or downplay your accomplishment. For example, if you mention a promotion at work, they might quickly respond with, "Oh, that's great. I just got a raise too. Actually, mine was even bigger." Or if you share a personal milestone, they follow up with a story about how they did something even more impressive. This kind of silent competition stems from deep-seated insecurities. People who engage in this behavior can't stand to see you succeed because, in their minds, it makes them feel inferior. They feel threatened by your success, so they constantly try to prove they're just as good, if not better. If every conversation with this person feels like a competition, it's a sign that there might be hidden resentment behind their actions. Carl Jung explained that shadow projection makes people see in others the qualities they can't develop in themselves. In other words, when someone feels inadequate, they project that insecurity onto you by either belittling your achievements or trying to outdo you. It's their way of avoiding their own feelings of inadequacy. Sign number 4, superficial support. Not all hostility comes in the form of open conflict. Sometimes it hides behind fake support. People who secretly dislike you might pretend to be supportive, but their actions tell a different story. For example, when you're facing a challenge, they minimize your problems or make excuses for not being there. When you achieve something great, their excitement feels forced or is completely absent. This lack of genuine support is especially noticeable during key moments in your life. If someone close to you is always busy or unavailable when you need them the most, or if they react indifferently to your successes, it's likely they don't have your best interests at heart. Recognizing superficial support can be tricky because it's often subtle. But over time, you'll notice a pattern in how they react to your successes and struggles. They may offer fake smiles or half-hearted congratulations, but deep down, their resentment shows through. Jung talked about ego dissociation as a psychological mechanism that causes some people to emotionally disconnect from others. This detachment often shows up as coldness or an inability to truly support those around them. Sign number 5, control disguised as caring. Have you ever had someone in your life who constantly tells you what to do, criticizes your choices, or questions your ability to make decisions, all under the pretense of caring for you? They might say things like, "I just want what's best for you," or "I'm only telling you this because I care." But their actions leave you feeling insecure and unsure of yourself. This type of control is tricky to spot because it's often disguised as loving advice or genuine concern. But make no mistake, their goal isn't to support you, it's to make you feel dependent on them, to undermine your confidence so you're less likely to challenge their influence. A key indicator of this manipulation is how their advice makes you feel. If you consistently walk away from conversations feeling weaker, more doubtful, or less capable, you're likely dealing with emotional manipulation disguised as care. Carl Jung argued that the need to control others comes from a deep fear of internal chaos. People who can't manage their own uncertainties try to control those around them to avoid facing their emotional instability. In other words, their controlling behavior is less about helping you and more about dealing with their own fears and insecurities. Sign number 6, spreading criticism and gossip. When someone harbors negative feelings towards you, they rarely confront you directly. Instead, they prefer to talk behind your back, spreading criticism, half-truths, or even outright lies. This form of hostility is particularly harmful because it damages your reputation without you even realizing it, until you start feeling the consequences. For example, you might notice a shift in how others treat you. Friends or colleagues might become distant, or you might sense a coldness from people who were once warm and friendly. If this happens without a clear explanation, there's a good chance someone is spreading negative information about you. This tactic is powerful because it attacks your public image while keeping the instigator's hands clean. They maintain a facade of innocence, all while planting seeds of doubt and mistrust in the minds of others. Jung explained that the need to discredit others often comes from an unconscious attempt to project one's own insecurities and weaknesses onto them. In other words, people who gossip and criticize are usually revealing more about their own fears and inadequacies than about you. They use gossip as a tool to feel superior and to mask their own feelings of inferiority. By casting you in a negative light, they temporarily feel better about themselves. But remember, the truth always comes out eventually, and those who consistently spread negativity end up damaging their own credibility in the long run. Stay tuned, because the next signs are even more revealing. And don't forget, the last one is the most dangerous of all. Sign number 7, lack of joy in your success. People who genuinely care about you will celebrate your successes just as much as they support you during tough times. They'll cheer you on, feel proud of your achievements, and share in your joy, because your success adds positivity to their lives too. But if someone secretly harbors negative feelings towards you, they'll struggle to hide their annoyance when you succeed. You might notice their cold reactions, sudden changes of subject, or even attempts to downplay your accomplishments. For example, you share exciting news, like getting a promotion, and they respond with a detached, "Oh, that's great," before quickly shifting the conversation back to themselves. Or they might make dismissive comments like, "Well, it's not that big of a deal," or "I did something similar a while ago." These aren't just harmless opinions, they're signs of poorly managed envy or silent competition. Carl Jung explained that the inability to feel joy for others reveals an unresolved internal conflict. For these people, your success serves as a painful reminder of their own perceived shortcomings. It highlights what they haven't achieved, triggering feelings of inadequacy and resentment. This is why they try to minimize your accomplishments or redirect attention back to themselves. If you notice that someone consistently reacts to your victories with coldness or subtle annoyance, chances are they're feeling something very different from the supportive facade they're trying to show. Sign number 8, non-verbal language and hidden details. Hidden hostility isn't always expressed through words. In fact, the most powerful indicators often lie in non-verbal communication. Even when someone tries to mask their feelings, their body language reveals the truth. Pay attention to the subtle details, forced smiles. If their smile doesn't reach their eyes or seems stiff, it's likely insincere. Sudden changes in expression. Watch for micro-expressions, brief, involuntary facial movements that reveal genuine emotions. Tense body language. Notice if they stiffen when you share good news or if their posture becomes closed off. Voice tone shifts. Listen for slight changes in their tone when they pay you a compliment. If the praise feels hollow or forced, it probably is. Avoidance of eye contact. If they frequently avoid looking you in the eye at key moments, it's a strong indicator of discomfort or concealed resentment. Carl Jung argued that the body and unconscious mind never lie. While the conscious mind can put on a social mask, the body reacts authentically to underlying emotions. This is why nonverbal cues are so telling. They bypass conscious control and reveal the truth. Your instincts play a crucial role here. If you ever sense tension, discomfort, or coldness, trust your gut feeling. You might be picking up on signals that your rational mind hasn't fully processed yet. Recognizing these subtle cues requires keen observation and sensitivity. While words can easily deceive, body language and micro-expressions are much harder to fake. A final thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden signs of hostility. By becoming aware of these subtle signals, you can better protect yourself from negative influences and surround yourself with genuinely supportive people. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe to the Think Deeply channel. We truly appreciate your generosity. Stay curious, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next video.